AccelerWriters are really easy to use and a convenient way to edit on the fly as you're writing. So if you go to your System Files and then down to your Extras AccelerWriter definitions, you'll see the dictionary that contains all the AccelerWriters that Stenograph would have provided. You can also create your own. AccelerWriters are macros, and all you do is assign a stenostroke to them to be able to use them as you're writing. The ones I want to use today are one I created, which is it caps what you write and then puts a parent around it. And we will also do quotes around a word, one I've also created. One from Stenograph, which is to cap two words back and define them as a J-define. And the interrupted speaker, which a lot of people will use, as well as delete last untran. With anything else, if you don't like the stenostroke, all you have to do is change it to something that fits your writing better, and then you can have something that works for you a lot easier. The other thing is, I would only take what ones you think you'll use and not tran against this entire dictionary. Just copy what you think you're going to use into your personal dictionary. That way, if something doesn't work, you can delete it, come back here, maybe rethink about it, and you don't end up having a traumatic event like erasing everything back to the last cue because you misstroked something and it ended up being a macro that would just exactly do that, and you have a panic moment while you're on the job. So it's a lot easier to take a few things, get control of them, and then add what you like and what you can control as you go along. If you haven't restored your AccelerWriters and you don't have this dictionary available, you just go to Help, Exceptional Extras, and Restore the extras. This will give you all these extra files that don't automatically load with your software when you download it. They have to be restored. And so once you do that, you would have those. If you have been working with Case Catalyst for a while and they've come out with new versions, you can always create a new user and restore these, and then if they've created any new ones since the last version build, those would be in there, and you can copy those over into this one from the other user as well, and take advantage of any new things they've gotten and created from feedback. So I started a file, and as we get going here, which the hardest part is to write and talk at the same time, you'll be able to see my steno notes to the right to see what AccelerWriter I used to invoke. So here we go. I am going to try to do this as I talk and walk. Smart Shop comes up. I don't have it because it's two basic words put together, so of course it's not in a dictionary. But I want it to be in here for the rest of this job so I don't have to edit it later. So I'm going to invoke my stenostroke, which you can see on the right hand side is the two, and then for me, I'm a sloppy writer, so it's pretty much everything on the right hand side. That will J-define it, and it will also global backwards, as you can see. The interrupted speaker stroke, if you throw it in before you start the next answer, it'll create your dashes in the question, or vice versa. If you put it in the answer before the next question, it'll throw in the dashes for you. And so I have changed mine to this smaller stroke, one without a T to it, so that I can make sure I hit it every time accurately. Alright, now we'll do a parent. I like this one. You can see I made the parent stroke. I created a macro that all I did was record it as going backwards, highlighting one word with the parent, and that's it. And then I call it a name, and then I was able to add it to my dictionary as an AccelerWriter. Alright, so this is a great example of a misstroke. So there's two things. You can delete untrans, which we showed you, or we can also replace them. So I'm going to write the word I want, hit the stroke, then it'll go back and replace that. And you'll see here it was run. That comes from my AccelerWriter dictionary, which is a macro to go back and replace the last untran with the word I write before. That one you'll find already pre-built by Stenograph. And so if I go over here to my AccelerWriters, you'll see it here. I of course have it with the drag to make sure I hit it every time because I'm a sloppy writer, so you can put in as much as you want in your dictionary. There's no limitation. Alright, so we're back here, and the next thing we're going to do is do quotations around the last word we write. So you can see that when I wrote the company and then I had a stroke for highlight back one and add quotation marks. You can also, I also have one where it highlights one back but also adds the comma inside the quotes, as well as two words with quotes around them and also two words with quotes around them and the comma as well. So that's an easy way to use your AccelerWriters. There's a whole list of them. They will save you a lot of editing time, so there's no time like now to get started.